to our next bit. This isn't necessarily movie news, but over the weekend, Kim and I had an opportunity to rent the movie Barb and Star Go to Vista Del Mar. Oh man, this was a silly movie. This was a completely silly movie. Now, I am going to do kind of a light review. It's a non-spoiler review, non-spoiler. Now, Nate, I know that you haven't seen the movie.
No, I have not. I want to. It seems light and fun and maybe something the
That
world
is,
needs right now.
yes, I couldn't put it any better. It's light, it's fun, it's silly, it's dumb, it's dumb, it's dumb.
But dumb can be magical
It
when
it
applied
definitely had
correctly.
its magical moments. Yeah. So I don't want to give too much away because the trailers are very careful not to explain what this movie is. Let me just say, without delving into the plot of the movie is about two friends from Nebraska who are very Nebraskan. And through a series of events, they decide, let's go to Florida. Let's go to Vista Del Mar. Now, there's a whole subplot of the movie, which I'm not going to talk about, that just seems weird. It seems out of place. It seems like they brought on Mike Myers to write the subplot of this movie because it's wacky. It's wacky.
Okay.
And
hmm
when we were introduced to the subplot of the movie in the very first opening scene. Okay, cool, great. It's weird, it's wacky. It doesn't. You know that scene in Captain America: Civil War where Spider-Man and Captain America face off a little bit, and Captain America throws his shield, and Spider-Man says like, "That thing doesn't obey the laws of physics at all," and it's kind of a throwaway line, but it explains a little
Uh-huh.
bit. I kind of feel like that is the essence of this movie. Things happen that are just weird and whack. I will give one minor spoiler. Are you okay with a minor spoiler, Nate? Okay.
Yes, yes,
There's a
yes, yes.
talking crab for no reason. Like
Okay.
there's a crab on the beach in this movie who just starts talking. I believe it's to Kristen Wiig's character, and they have a full blown conversation about the merits and benefit of existentialism. It's
Okay.
ridiculous, but it's also just kind of like, okay, yeah, I totally buy into that. Yeah, why not?
Mhm.
Um, it's man, the talking crab made me laugh so hard. This movie's so stupid. It's a dumb comedy, but I loved it. I loved it, and you are.
But I mean, some of the most iconic comedies of all time were dumb. I mean, Dumb and Dumber, it's literally there, and
But
that's
okay, I contend.
hilarious,
Yes,
right?
Dumb and
Like,
Dumber is a dumb comedy, but it's very smart in its
mhm.
creation. Yeah, they're telling fart jokes. Yes, they're telling bathroom humor. Yeah, it's Jim Carrey just being stupid, but the way it's constructed is done in a very clever way.
Yeah, it's still a quality
I
product.
wouldn't necessarily argue that Barb and Star Go to Vista Del Mar is constructed in a clever way. It's a
Mhm.
straightforward dumb comedy, but the comedy that does exist made me belly laugh so hard. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Now Nate, you.
I mean,
Oh no,
I
I'm
think
sorry.
there. Oh,
Please.
go. Sorry, go ahead.
Uh,
As I say, I think there's something to be said for knowing what your product is and
yeah,
embracing
yeah.
that, right? Like fast there's a billion Fast and Furious movies, but they know exactly what they are and what their audience is, and they're not ashamed of that.
Now
So yeah.
Nate, you
Anyway.
haven't seen the movie.
hmm
Without giving anything away, is there anything that you want to know going into this movie?
I do wonder if it seems like a it seems like this is like an SNL sketch, and I don't know if it is that got extended into a movie, and sometimes those are really good and sometimes they're not. So just makes me wonder if it's worth watching a 90-minute sketch.
It
Does
does.
that make sense?
Yes. This does kind of have that feel. It kind of does have that feel of like,
Like MacGruber or like, Wayne's
yeah.
World, Night at
Yeah,
the
I mean,
Roxbury.
this was not based off of an SNL sketch. This was not based off of any sketch, to my
Mhm.
knowledge. But it does kind of have that feel of like, hey, here's these two wackadoo characters. Yeah, and they're going to go
Caricatures,
off on
yeah.
this silly adventure. It kind of does feel like that a little bit. It does. Yeah. I
Mhm.
think I'm not entirely sure where the origins of this movie came from, but it stars the two women who wrote Bridesmaids. Obviously, not directed Bridesmaids, but oh man, I can't. Oh, why can't I think of her name? Um, Hold on, sorry, I'll look it up. Annie Mamolo. Annie Mamolo helped write. She was one of the co-writers on Bridesmaids, and she and Kristen Wiig both wrote and starred in this film. And yeah, it
Mhm.
is. There was a part of me that was kind of thinking like, oh, like I haven't seen her, Annie Mamolo. I haven't seen her in really anything else. She looks slightly familiar, but from nowhere that I can place her. And seeing her on
Yeah.
screen with Kristen Wiig, I mean, like, yeah, Kristen Wiig is a leading lady, uh, but I kind of feel like this was Annie Mamolo's movie a little bit.
Yeah. It almost makes, as an improviser, it feels to me, because like they did Bridesmaids together, if as they were doing Bridesmaids, they were just perpetually doing bits about like who these characters are, and they were like, oh, there's a movie here, right? They just had so many like bits, and the characters were so easy that they were just like, oh, we've got something that's more than just
Yeah,
these funny
yeah,
moments.
I totally
Does that
agree.
make sense?
Now, I will
So,
say some cons about the movie. The structure of it is a little formulaic. It's very straightforward, and the whole subplot, the B plot of the movie, I think we could have done
mhm.
without that entire B plot. Uh,
Yeah. Well, maybe they're just stretching,
yeah.
for
Well, I mean,
hit that
there's,
runtime.
because I understand that in order for like a narrative story to like this to kind of work, you need something. You need,
Some
yeah, yeah,
MacGuffins.
yeah, yes. That's exactly what it is. It's a MacGuffin, and like Ian Roberts always used to say from UCB, blue does not show up well against blue. You need something else to set the
Hmm.
colors apart. So if blue against yellow works very well. See, blue and yellow. Um, I mean, those two
Smart,
colors
smart.
play off very well of each other. So I think that's what this is that you have these two very opposing colors to set off the wackiness of these characters. But I argue you don't need that subplot. It is a little contrived. It's very formulaic. It's very cliche. And when I compare the B plot, the subplot to something out of a Mike Myers movie, I think we can all kind of like understand. And when you see that, you'll immediately know what I'm talking about. Like, oh, okay,
Hmm.
yep, I understand what this is now. Um, and it's not, and again, not something that I think we needed. I think this movie would have worked very well, if not even better. Keep all the wackiness of it, but keep it self-contained
Hmm.
just to Barb and Star. What is it about their relationship um, that gets thrown apart a little bit? Like I think we could have delved into that a little bit more without that subplot. Anyway,
I don't know. Maybe that's that studio influence that seems to be ruining so many films lately when they're like, this is what that
it
movie
could
needs,
be. I don't see it because it is more of like an independent type thing. I don't know if anyone
Okay.
really expected Barb and Star to kind of be like this big blockbuster kind of thing. Any last things that, you want to know about the film before we move on?
No, I think you've hit all the things I was
Nice.
curious about
Well,
with
ladies
it.
and gentlemen, have you had a chance to see Barb and Star go to Vista Del Mar? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Are you somewhere in between? Do you agree with me that the subplot was completely unnecessary and we could have used a different storytelling MacGuffin there? Or did you like it? Did you like the Mike Myers wackiness of it? Jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. Hey everybody, thanks for watching. If you like this video, click like. If you really like this video, click subscribe. And if you really, really like this video, click share. Because that is exactly what Tony Stark's Iron Man would want you to do. Doon,